what it is and what it isn't. Thank you for joining us. This is the Beat the Bag wrap up show, and I'm here, your host and MC, Jimmy the motherfucking Bag. I'm going to be being joined by some great cappers, and we are going to break down this week's NFL card. And we have a new leader in the Beat the Bag competition. The coach's desk is 25, 10, and 0 plus 19.91 units. Barely ahead of my man Travis, a fellow British Columbia guy that I've been capping with and that I really dig. He is a regular on the show. I hope to see him this evening. We got some cappers joining us right now. This is good. We got Sports Capper. He's the shit. My man Armin, thank you for joining. We got Tay D08. Ron Fig is here. This is good, man. We are building a team. A nucleus is coming together. So my man Travis, who's a regular on the show, hope to see him tonight, is also at 25, 10, and 0, just 0.27 units behind. Then we have the legend, Pistol Pete Loshak is in 13th. Very impressive at 22 and 13, plus 17.29 units. Then we have my man, Okro Nico, who's doing well in all our contests right across the board right now. And he's in 21st, 21, 13, and 1, plus 16.51 units. Then my man D. Thomas, who's another regular on the show, hope to see him tonight, is in 26th, 21, 13, and 1, plus 15.98 units. Then we have my guy, Hugh Mad Bro, who I'm hoping will join us again today, a.k.a. Robinson Yepes. He is in 216th place at 20, 15, and 0, plus 5.32 units. LT Profits, one of our administrators for the contest, is hot, running hot. He has moved into 227th place, up 5.06 units. And last week, I went 3-2, hit my best bet, gained 2.83 units, made up for that terrible week I had 2 weeks ago. I am now in 915th place, 15, 9, and 1, down 4.56 units. Just need a couple weeks, and I'll be in the black where we want to be. We have the World Series starting in 5 minutes. I've got some heavy futures action. My bets already look bad tonight. For some reason, one of my official picks, the Bulls plus 14.5, I didn't roll through my bookie. I did, though, put the under in, and they're fucking, it's going to be way fucking over. That was a huge mistake I'm pretty pissed off about. But we got my man, Johnny Redbeard. What up, man? Thank you for joining us. Johnny, I know you did mention something to me, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it in the morning show a few days ago about the Breeders' Cup. And we're going to do some real big things for the Breeders' Cup next week. So I hope you can be a part of that, my man. Lou Chase, Fox, nice. Nice. Thank you for joining us. We got Adam Lastman. This is good, man. Gary Wedderburn. I fucking like it. Rolly Hernandez. Yeah, Rolly, if you want to talk about any late NBA games, man, start throwing it at us. I know, Andres, I'm fucked. My man. SXEP Winster 123. This is a good group. We got a good group. Let's start doing some motherfucking cap, shall we? Man, I've been capping my fucking ass off and been waking up real early. So I made sure to put a little liquor in this mug. So I get a little tipsy, a little fucked up with you guys and enjoy myself. Not that I don't always enjoy myself with you guys. I'm going to take it a little bit further tonight and get fucked up while I'm with you. Yeah, Johnny Redbeard's looking forward to it. Johnny Redbeard from Victoria. Nice. Another BC boy in the house, man. Costa Rica is fucking live. I love it down here. It's very, very fun. People are extremely friendly, especially if you pay them. Rolly Hernandez, love the Portland over, Jimmy. You know, I love the Portland action. I've got it heavy tonight. I'm going to stick with that right now. My man Andres P is the Dodgers total over 7 minus 135. Fucked up juice. Wow, that is fucked up juice. But I think all the sharps went on the over. We talked about that in this morning show. My man SXEP Winsters from Alberta. Nice. And then Armin got fucked by Houston and Sacramento yesterday. Yeah, you don't bet against the Grizz, man. Been saying that. Don't bet against the Grizz. Thank you, Johnny, man. Thank you giving respect to the show. Thank you for being a part of this, man. We're going to have some good capping. Perfect rotation in on Brooklyn, +5. Ooh. That is fucking smart. That is excellent capping for 500. Woo! That is a big bet, perfect rotation, and they look good, man. I love Russell and Crab together. I hated Russell on the Lakers, but I like him on the Nets. That's how it goes, man. So we got Jake Paul on the Astros. Johnny Redbeard just hammered the over. Okay, man. I like it. Big bet on Tampa Bay tonight, Scott K. Good fucking move. What a fucking idiot I was, man. We talked about how much fucking value, why they were giving so much value this morning on the show, and still I don't make a move on it. They're 7-1-1. They're the best team in the NHL, it looks like. I should have made a move on that. Good work, Scott K. I hope you cash on that. I know it's 1-0. My man Mark is in the house. Mark Helfreck. Been watching my shows for a couple months. Just want to say I appreciate your candidness. Thank you. Love to know your approach to betting parlays. Sure. Well, this is a parlay season for me. Is where I do my best is basketball when I adjust lines, like you guys saw me do yesterday. What I didn't even really have to do yesterday, but I adjusted both the Heat and the Warriors down to 5.5. I love adjusting those big favorites just in case they empty the bench too early. 5.5 wasn't necessary, but we'll do lots of talking about that. It's a little sketchy right now. Perfect Rotation says, give me the update and the Nets score. Yeah, give me the update. Adam Lastman likes the Dodgers by 3. Rolly Hernandez says, take the Cavs in the second half. I dig it. I dig it, man. First half Clippers minus 2.5. Andre says, I'm not the right guy because I don't really believe in this Clippers team. Now, I do when they're all healthy. I'm looking forward to see them play the Jazz tonight. I think that first half minus 2.5 isn't a bad line, Andres. Not a bad line at all. Oh, yeah, we got it. Johnny Redbeard tailed my action. Yeah, I had some people tell me this was the wrong time to go against the Habs, but I disagree, man. I think we're going to be good. Yeah, good luck on your big bet on Portland tonight. Thank you, Scotty. It's 57-57 Nets game. All right, we got a lot of action. A lot of action tonight. You guys can feel free to drop updates as we go along, but the main thing we are doing today is capping this week's football action, and we got a lot of really good football action. And I've had a really good 4 days. It has started out the 5th day started out poorly, but I'm up 4 straight days. I want to make as much fucking money as possible, and I want all you guys to make money too. I want to milk these fucking bookies. Leche a los bookmakers. Milk these fucking bookies. Makes our lives better. Batter pockets, hotter sleuths is how we do. Let's start. Oh, Johnny Redbeard sees a ton of value with Florida. I agree. DC Coleman tailed me on the Knicks. It started off well for 3 minutes, and then the Celtics took over. I'm going to just focus on the football right now, but you can feel free to give me any updates that you guys want to give. And most importantly, thank you guys all so much for capping these games with me. Let's get to it. Game 1, the Thursday nighter. I'm excited about this, and I may, unless you guys poke too many holes into it, I may have one of my top 5 picks in Beat the Bag. Right? Oh, fuck, Rolly Hernandez, 17-30, Boston. That's okay. That's okay. Boston does not have a deep bench. Matthew Varnum's in, man. What's good? Thank you for joining us, Matthew. It's okay, Rolly. We're good, man. Nothing to worry about. Get to that fucking Celtics bench. We'll be just fine. Okay, Thursday nighter, Dolphins at Ravens minus 3 with an over-under of 37.5. Okay, we're going to break that game down first so you guys get ready to go. Aspire to Elate asks, what's a hotel like that's cost me nightly $80 American? And it changes. It can go down a little bit. But yeah, anywhere between $70 $80 American. D. Patrick in the house. Thank you for joining us. All right. And perfect rotation tied at the half, man. I think the Nets are a good team. I think you're going to be just fine. I'm very excited to be knowing about that bet as we go through this. All right, fellas. Gary Wedderburn is the first to give us some ideas on this Dolphins at Ravens game. He says, I like the first half under. Justin Emmert is a little bit more hotel talk here, saying that much. Colombia is way cheaper. Justin Emmert, you're right, man. San Jose, Costa Rica is not cheap. Nicaragua is cheap. I'm going down to Panama City, Panama, to the horse track there next month. And I'm really looking forward to checking out that city, checking out that track. I mean, I've seen it online, but I'm looking forward to seeing it in person. But you're right. It's not cheap. It is not cheap. Oh, Johnny Redbeard thinks I need another NFL visit with Spidey. Well, Spidey got me rolling. But as Sports Capper has come in like he always does, and I love him, let's start capping this game. Luce says Dolphins beat the shitbag Ravens. John Rhodes Jr. is in the house just pimping. Matt Moore era is finally here. I'm happy it's here. Tunsil will be back. We'll offer some protection. The Ravens have no receivers and never overcame the Yanda loss. Ravens have now lost 3 guards and 1 center. Flacco will be under duress all game long. Kiko, Wake, and the boys will be coming after him. I am on the Dolphins as well. What do you guys have to say about that? Aspire to Late says, congrats on your run. Thank you, man. I'm very happy to run because I know that I got some fellow strategists and cappers that are running with me. So I know when I win, a bunch of us win. So it's been a really good 4 days, and it's been a really good month. I'm up just under $2,600 in October, and that's not including all the American I made at the bet box. Yeah, Matthew Varnum. So keep going, man. Let's keep trying to cap this game. But Varnum says, has Cynthia or anyone at SBR been talking about an IBBC for basketball? There has been. There has been talk about that, Matthew, and we're going to get more into that. For the NCAA March Madness, there's been a lot of talk about that. So my man Matthew Varnum will keep you we'll keep you in touch about what's going on there. John Rhodes Jr. says Ravens fucking up my money. Justin Emmert says the under is way too low to bet, I think. 37.5, a defensive special teams touchdown can fuck you. I agree that 37.5 is a dangerously low number. But I like the Dolphins here. I think the Ravens are falling apart. They just can't defend Flacco. They can't protect Flacco. And their receivers are trash. Although it seems like they're going to get a couple guys back. I'm happy the Matt Moore era is here. I'm very pleased. The Cutler era has been trash. He is the most apathetic athlete in the fucking world. And it's nice to not see him under center. Let's see. John Rhodes thinks it's safe for the under. And you might be right. You might be right. These are 2 teams that are having trouble scoring. Scott K says take the over. So we got a differing of opinions here. I'm just happy to see Matt Moore there, to be honest with you. And I like the Dolphins in this spot. I like getting the points. I think it's a really good place. Now, I'm in love with Kiko Alonso. Cameron Wake, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year up in Canada in the CFL. Maybe my favorite player in the league. I have an affinity for the fish, and I despise Jay Cutler. So I think I'm going to ride with the Dolphins. My man D. Patrick says, Ravens defend the pass every week. Defend the pass very weak. Ajayi over carries a solid wager. Ajayi is a great running back. Matt Barnum says, I can't believe I didn't bet the over in game 1 of the World Series. I hope I don't regret it. Well, as we said on the morning show, in games over 89 degrees Fahrenheit, teams score an average of 1 run more every game. Jets scored 28 points. Not a good offense. There's some truth in that, Scott. There's absolutely some truth in that. Sports Capper coming in with his facts, man, and I love having your facts as part of this show. The favorite is 1-5-1 against the spread on Thursdays. Very interesting, and that bodes well for my Dolphins. Al Jericho says, Bag, what the fuck? Why are you picking Fins? You're going to get your tonsil slashed. No, Al Jericho. You get your tonsil splashed, not slashed. No, it's not Halloween. Funny. So Al Jericho likes the Ravens in this spot. I get it. Rolly Hernandez, Orlando Magic spread -3.5 for second half. Wow, that's a tough spot, man. That's a tough spot. You like that, Rolly? I get it, but I'm liking Brooklyn. I'm liking the vibe they got coming. Well, so we have a differing of opinions in the Dolphins-Ravens. I'm going to study this game more. I still have 48 hours before I have to hammer in. My man Tomor is in the house. Thank you for joining us. I think Baltimore should have beaten Chicago but got unlucky. Baltimore is better at home, but I think anything more than 3, the value is on that team. Miami has some value. I agree. My man Dale 04 is in the house. Would you rather have an elephant-sized dog or a dog-sized elephant? I would rather have A elephant-sized dog. Al Jericho said thinks he's El Chapo, man. He's gonna slash my tonsils. That is scary. Justin Emmer says both teams I want to stay away from. I don't have a good read on either. Okay. Oh, D. Patrick, hammer the Ajayi props. Sports Capper likes a dog and under. Scott K doesn't like a sign. I like the dog here. I like the Dolphins here on the Thursday nighter. It may be one of my picks. Let's move on to the first game on the card Sunday. Vikings minus 9.5 at Browns with an over-under of 37.5. The Vikes are getting stronger every week. Oh, let's see. Wow. Sorry. Updates. The Vikes are getting stronger every week. If they only had Dalvin Cook. I just wish they had Dalvin Cook. Now, the Browns couldn't protect the quarterback or move the ball with Joe Thomas in the lineup. Let's see what they do without him. I think it's going to be horrifying. Myles Garrett has given their D-line a boost. Crowell, 17 for 35 yards. Without Joe Thomas, Browns fans better get used to that type of shit. So let's move on to the Vikings-Brown. We have a couple last notes on the Thursday nighter. Aspire to a late likes Dolphins money line. Wrong team favored. I'm with you, Aspire to a late. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Dolphins, and I think it will be one of my five. Sports Capper gave us some nice info on the favorite struggling on Thursday nights. Feel good about it. So Sports Capper, Vikes, Browns, another under. Can the Browns score? I agree. An under is a very possible thing, and I'm going to add that note. 37.5 is small, but you're right. Can the Browns score? I mean, the Vikings are going to have some difficulty scoring. The Browns' defense is still playing well. As we said, Myles Garrett has given them a boost. Tomore says, I bet Minnesota at -9. We talked about Minnesota last week. I think they aren't getting respect because they're a smaller market and they have no big games. Cleveland's O-line was horrible. Thomas out. I agree. Tampa's up 2-0 in hockey. I should have taken that. I feel like an idiot. I feel like an asshole. They were a dog, too. Good work, Scott. I'm happy you're taking that money. John Rhodes Jr., Vikings and under. Interesting, guys. Tomore says, I think Cleveland had a tough overtime loss, and Zimmer's the kind of coach that should have team ready for London. You're right. London does change things. Ooh, the Dodgers just homered. First pitch? Jesus. Sports Capper thinks Tomo is right, but I can't lay that many points. I agree. That is a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points to lay. I think the Vikings will take care of business here. I think they could beat them up bad. I'm considering this as one of my plays and beat the bag. Aspire to a late says, under. Browns defense is underrated. 24-10 Vikes. I hear you. Tomore says, I think the fact no one is talking about Minnesota as a contender is telling. Team is still undervalued in my opinion. Cook's out isn't that big of a deal in my opinion because O-line is playing well. Yeah, but they'd be monsters with a real running game. John Rhodes says, in my opinion, pay for the juice and take Browns plus 10.5. Interesting. Justin Emmert says, Vikes don't blow out teams. He's right. Scott K says, I'm thinking about tailing you on Portland, but I hate betting NBA. Tail me on the Blazers, baby. Get that cake. Oprah wants cheesecake. Adam Lastman says, Browns won't score. Scott K says, Vikings good defense. Browns won't score. Too many points. Says DC Coleman. Interesting. We have sports betting and poker. Sorry if you guys already went over this, but is Cutler still doubtful? Cutler is out. I mean, it's not 100. So they're saying he's going to be out, but we haven't had 100% confirmation on that. Celtics nearly up 20 on the Knicks. Knicks tanking already, says Dale. That's okay. My man Johnny Redbeard says the Blazers are the play of the night. Tomore says, I think Murray is still a starting running back. He had some solid years in Oakland, a better than average running back in my opinion. I don't think – now, Tomore, he's big and he's tough. And he's coming off surgery in the offseason, so he should be starting to roll. But I question if he's going to be able to. Armin, my man, says better for Dolphins that Cutler's out. I agree. I've wanted the Matt Moore era. Tomore knows I've talked about it for a long time. I've wanted Matt Moore in this under center, delivering the goods. Johnny Redbeard says Cutler's the biggest bum in the NFL. Yeah, he's just apathetic. You know, he just doesn't care enough. Tomore says, Scott, yes, big bet on Portland. Tomore's with us on the Blazers. I forgot about that. I remember that from this morning. Let's get that cash, man. Take it. Let's take it. Well, that is the Vikings at Browns. Now, that's a nice option for a two-bet. Two-better. To take Vikings and the under. Whew. I'm going to see where that line goes over the next 24 hours, but that is it's a lot to think about. Aspire to Elite says, more worth 2 points over Cutler. Scott K says, Jimmy, you have the total goals on Tampa. I have to go over that. Let me find out if I do. I thought I have a ton of fucking action, so it's easy to get lost. In hockey tonight, with my picks, no, I didn't take Lightning team total over. I fucking. Ugh. All right, let's not get disappointed. Yeah, Dale says the Cavs Bulls total was going down and down all day, and it's gonna fly over. Okay, Scott K says I do. Well, man, maybe I forgot to write it down. I'll have to go over the show. Okay, Jimmy, another 300 on the Blazers, says Johnny Redbeard. I like it. I like it. Lake Show Zoe, what up, man? Thank you for joining us. Says, Bag, would you agree the Vikings are the second best team in the NFC? They get Teddy back soon. Remember that. They will be the first team to play the Super Bowl at home. Wow, Lake Show Zoe, you got a lot of faith. You got a faith in a quarterback who hasn't played in a long, long time. In a very, very long time. In fact, I would be surprised if Bridgewater was able to get the starting job back at quarterback this year. But I respect your love for him. He was looking good before that terrible injury. So I think the Minnesota Vikings are a very good team in the NFC. There's no doubt about it. Scott K says on the show I tailed Pete. Okay, well that's good news. That's good news, Scott. Thank you. Wow, what a start to the World Series. Home run. I love it. Rolly Hernandez says, I need one hockey play. Okay, you need one hockey play? We can do that, man. Let's get you one hockey play, and then we'll go on. Okay, Gigi, thank you for joining us. It says, Minnesota wins big. Browns D won't be able to handle. Won't be able to, will be worn down by mid-third. And Sports Capper says, stop crowning the Vikings. Hey, I think they're a good team. Whether or not they're going to be able to roll in the playoffs is something else, and something I don't really think they will. I think that the issue is at running back. I still do. What's your bet of the week in the NFL? We're trying to figure that out. Yes. So Justin Emmerich has come in with the. Let's go over my hockey picks. But Justin Emmerich might have my pick of the night, and that's a nice number. I got the Blackhawks -1.5 at +175. I think that's it. I think that's the spot. But it's +175, you know. But I think that's the best, most exciting. The one that's most likely to win. I don't know. I like that spot a lot. I think there's a lot of value in the Blackhawks -1.5. I'm with you, Justin. Scott K likes Dallas tonight in hockey. I've got Dallas too. I've got Dallas as an official pick, and I've got it in with my local. Tomore says, I think fading teams off tough overtime losses is a good play. Cleveland went all in against Tennessee. There's some very much truth to that. Falcons spreads only -4.5 versus Jets. Surely this is a game they have to win and bounce back from 3 poor games. Well, let's wait till we get to that. Andrew G says, that's what I got. Hawks -1. Good work, Andrew. I like it. Rolly says, sweet, Jimmy. Thanks, brother. Let's get that cash, Rolly. It's in the Falcons' head now. Okay, well, let's wait. Let's go to our next football game. The next football game we're going to be hammering is, well, why don't we do your Falcons game? Why don't we split ahead because you guys are talking about it already? Yeah, Johnny Redbeard says, hope the Hawks have been tame in Vegas and stayed away from the ladies of the night. And he laughs out loud. Well, if you've been to Vegas, you know that the hookers on the street don't want to have sex with you. They want to rob you. So if those are the ladies of the night that you're speaking of, I hope they stayed away from them as well. Lake Shozo says, would you still take Portland minus 4.5? Definitely, in a second. That's what I have them at. I even have them -5 with my local because I'm bet 365. It's garbage. It is Vikes or pass, says Sports Capper. Kim Young Joe says, Nick's always a bad bet. Well, it looks like they're getting me right in the drink hole tonight. Okay, so Tomor likes Atlanta on the -4. Lastman's talking hockey, likes Dallas over Colorado. So do I. But let's focus on the Falcons -4 at Jets. I was banging this out for a while. First off, Sarkisian looks like a drunk hobo with his offense. Was Kyle Shanahan the real MVP of the Falcons offense? Does only Shanahan know how to utilize Taylor Gabriel? The Falcons have one score in their last 6 quarters. Dan Quinn's defense is still good. We know that. 38-year-old Josh McCown looks really good. 17 for 27, 209 yards, 3 TDs. The problem is the receivers aren't getting touches. Paolo Forte led the team in rushing and receiving. That is not going to work against the Dan Quinn defense. Let's Luke Chase is getting calls from Hose. That's always positive. That's always positive, Luke Chase. But yeah, tell him you're capping right now. Tomar says, I think backing teams that look horrible on national TV is almost never a bad play. Matt Moore moved the ball with ease against the Jets. Interesting. Sports Capper says Falcons minus the points to end an 0-3 straight up against the spread streak. If they don't cover, coach should be on the hot seat. Interesting. Interesting. Tomor says, I think there are some growing pains with the new coordinator, but I think Atlanta choked at New England. They put too much pressure on themselves, and Ryan played like shit. I think Sarkisian is the problem. A fucking booze bag. Justin Ember says, I think Atlanta is a good bet. New England fixed their fuck-ups, I think, and made Atlanta look worse than they are. But I'll buy points to 3. Interesting. My man, Rolly Hernandez is on the Blazers. I like it, man. Let's get it. Perfect rotation. Dude, it's always been about who's behind the controls. Shanahan was the puppet master. I agree with you. Perfect rotation. And Shanahan is making good moves. I know it's impossible to believe because the 49ers are so bad, but he's getting a lot out of a ridiculously weak offense. Chase is on that. Andrew says, whoa, Pacers, slow down there, LOL. What's the score in that game? I need action. I need info, Andrew. Perfect rotation says Sarkisian is trash. Aspire 208 says, no way Jets score 14 points in this game. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because my possible bet in Beat the Bag is the under 46.5 in this game. Now, it does concern me how easy it was for Moore to move the ball last week against the Jets defense. I'm very concerned about that. And when Tomor brought it up, it gave me pause for reflection. Sports Capper, Falcons can't handle the pass rush, but they need to win against this overachieving Jets team. Tomor says, I think it's a bit humorous that everyone is crowning Shanahan. Thought he got fired in Cleveland, was shit at the end of the year before Atlanta won the Super Bowl. Wasn't highly regarded before last year. Hey, you're right. But he seemed to make that offense go. Dale says, I can see it ending at around -6.5, the spread for Falcons by kickoff. Yeah, you think all the late money will be on the Falcons? That's very interesting. Aspire to a late thinks it's a good bet, the under. Thinks it's 21-13. That's where I'm leaning. Now, Tomor scared me. He scared me. Could be extra points if Ryan throws picks. I don't see him throwing a bunch of picks in this game. Okay, well, that's the Falcons at Jets. I feel comfortable with this under. Aspire to a late is with me. Tomor says, I think there is value on the under. He agrees. I don't see the Jets scoring much. I just think there is more value on Atlanta. I think the offense bottomed last week. They can't be any worse. Interesting. Ziggy Balls, thanks for joining us, man. I love seeing your action every day. Thanks for always sharing it with me. Says the 49ers could be a good bet this week. I know, man. I capped that game and I thought about it hard, but we'll get to that game very soon. Jets had a tough loss last week at the end of the game. I think might be tough to bounce back here. I agree, Tomor. I'm liking the under more, and I will leave a note there. Okay, next game I want to talk about. John Rhodes is going to pay the juice. Falcons -3. I get it. Makes sense. Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are 9-point favorites. Over under of 47.5. That's the game I want to talk on now. So, but we have a little bit more. Dale 04 says, yeah, the value is on the Falcons. There would have been some serious questions asked internally this week. That is a good point. That is a good point. There's Dan Quinn does not take this lightly. He's a very intense guy. Bears at Saints -9. Trubisky went 4 for 7, and they won. 4 for 7 for 107 yards versus the Panthers. Fucked up. Breeze is going to light up the Bears secondary. He makes receivers out of anyone. Ginn 7 for 141 last week. Thomas 7 for 82. Ingram looks really good. 22 for 105. Kamara 9 for 57 yards rushing, 5 for 50 yards receiving. Now, it was a little disconcerting seeing Jones go off on the Saints for 131 yards rushing when they knew the Packers couldn't throw the ball. That's concerning. What went wrong in saying that Lattimore is an awesome draft pick, and they are very lucky to have him? All right. Let's see. We got a lot of – this is good. Okay. We will start with Tomor. Says, I hammered this game on Saints at 8.5. I'm from Chicago, Bears fan. The Bears are the luckiest team in the NFL. They've gotten multiple defensive TDs in 2 of 3 games. Bears defense, not the same on the road. Interesting. My man Armin says, only take Bears when at home. I agree. They're a Jekyll and Hyde football team. Chris Blanchard, thank you for joining us. Says, Bears are a fraud. Saints, easy cover. Scott K says, Bears are my team, but I hate John Fox. Johnny Redbeard, can't believe he went 4 for 7 and 1. Sports Capper says, Saints are nothing. The Bears' defensive touchdowns gimmick is coming to an end. John Rhodes paid for the juice. Got the Bears at +10.5. So there's our first guy on the other side. Tomor says, Saints are getting no respect or talk as a contender because they opened on national TV and got humiliated. The Saints went up and down the field on the road against the Vikings. Saints' offensive line is strong. I agree. Scott K says, Bears play good at home. Chris Blanchard says, Newton doesn't play for the Saints. Laughs. Perfect rotation. Bears beating the Panthers did nothing for me. And the last one says, Bears don't score. And Mark comes in with some good news. Mark Helfrecht comes in with some good news from my fucking bank account. The Islanders are now up 2-1. The Coyotes and the Avalanche are going to keep fucking losing. And my bank account will be better off for it. Thank you, Mark. Much love to you, my friend. Respect the messenger. Aspire Too Late says, normally I agree with Tomo, but I think that's too many points. Adam Lastman said defense scored 14. Tomor says, Aspire, talking to Aspire Too Late, the Bears have a solid defense, but I think it's hard to ignore the home road splits. I think you are right. And the Pacers are up 30-18. It's all very good. And Johnny Redbeard ran with me for the Islanders. We've got a ways to go. I got him at -1.5. I don't know if you do too, but we got a ways to go. But this is all very good news. Very good news. GG says Saints are finding their groove. Ziggy Balls. I like Atlanta on the spread versus the Jets. This week, my lean. I like it. I like it. I think the Saints -9 is I don't know if it's too many points. If Trubisky, okay, the only reason why I'm concerned is because Jones ran for, what did he run for? A fucking 131 yards when we knew they could only run the ball. That's my question. What do you guys think about that? We knew that the only thing they could do is run the ball. Tomor says the Bulls look like they will hang on, but they're getting killed in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Johnny Redbeard says, parlay the Blackhawks with the ladies of the night. John Rhodes said, they said the same thing when the Bears went to the Ravens. Bears D is for real. Wake up. Hey, man. John Rhodes Jr., man, I'm with you. I know that the Bears have a good D. Their front seven is a very good front seven. Their secondary is questionable. JJ, rode with me with the Pacers. GG, sorry, rode the Pacers with me. That's right. What we do, man. Make that catch. I took a lot of heat, GG. Do you remember on the show how much fucking heat I took for taking the Pacers today? A lot of people were hammering my NBA action. Let's fucking get it, man. So Scott K thinks Trubisky will throw a lot in this game. And Johnny Redbeard says, can't go wrong with Lucky Sloot. Adam Lastman says, everybody and their sister are taking the Saints. Sports Capper says, I hate laying points, but Saints could be a blowout. I agree with you, Sports Capper. My man Justin Emmert says, it was all in the first half. Remember, Saints had no tape on the Packers, changed game plan. That is a good point. Thank you for making me feel better about that, Justin. Ziggy Balls, my lean is Saints -9 versus the Bears. And Ziggy Balls, I've been following your action. You're a great handicapper. Aspire Too Late says, backdoor touchdowns are killers for such a high line. Yeah. Blanchard says, I'm on the over. I'm on the over 7. Oh, he's talking baseball. Tom Rhodes says, the secondary is good too. I don't know. I think they have a questionable secondary. Obviously they look good this past week. Tomar says, Saints should have Armstead back. This is a top 5 offensive line with Unger and others. Ravens move the ball easily on the Bears. The Bears got some lucky turnovers. Saints O-line matches well with the Bears rush. Bears have a very good running game. And Scott K says, yes, their secondary is getting better. Tomar says, Minnesota is a young team to lay double digits off of. Oh, we're talking Pacers. Chris Blanchard says, the Pacers was a great and ballsy pick. Thank you, Chris Blanchard. I didn't think it. I took a lot of fucking heat today on the show, but it's early. And obviously, I was really fortunate that Jimmy Butler wasn't in the lineup. And Gigi says, love it. I know you did. Yeah, man, I took a lot of fucking heat. Tomar says, I think the Saints were flat against Green Bay with Rodgers out. Very sloppy game. People forget how much better the offense still is at home. Adam Lastman says, I'll take the Bears. Okay. So now we have a few guys. Adam Lastman's running with you, John Rhodes Jr. You got Adam Lastman running with you. Tomar says, Aspire, I agree. 10 is a lot of points. I got Saints at 8.5. Johnny Redbeard says, Jimmy, biggest fish ever caught in my life this year is a 39-pound salmon. When my sloot took her tits out on my boat, I told her it was good luck, then boom, fish. Sloots are always good luck. That's what he's saying. Well, you know what, Johnny Redbeard? For us to fully understand your story, I think we're going to have to see your girlfriend's tits. So please email that to me at jimmythebagsweezy@gmail.com. Adam Lastman thinks it'll be a letdown for the Saints. Scott K says Bears are only winning because of their defense. Okay. John Rhodes does not think they're going to cover. Nets are holding on. Okay, I like it. Johnny Redbeard laughed out loud. So we don't know if I will get a picture of those Tito's. How about this, Johnny Redbeard? You give me a picture of your girlfriend's tits. I will go down to the Hotel Del Rey, find the finest titties I can see, and send you a picture of those. We'll go titty for titty. Tomar says, Saints are a veteran team with Breeze, and that home environment is special. You are absolutely right. I think they will be ready. The fact the Bears have won 2 straight should keep the Saints from looking past them. Chris Blanchard says, pick of the week in the NFL, in my opinion, Seahawks -5.5. Well, let's wait, Chris, my man. Let's wait till we get there. Tomars could see a letdown if the Bears hadn't won 2 straight. Saints can't look past them now. That's true. That's true. Okay. Oh, and Johnny Redbeard says deal. I like the sounds of that, Johnny Redbeard from Victoria, BC. Okay, well, that's some interesting stuff. So Adam Lastman, John Rhodes Jr. are heavy with the Bears. Respect the Bears' defense. A lot of us like the Saints, but are uncomfortable at the points. We know the home environment is very special. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Well, I don't know what to say, man. It's tough. It's a very tough game. And you guys are doing it's so much fun capping with you guys. Johnny Redbeard says, there are some big old sweaty yams. Sounds good to me. Okay. This is a game I like very much. I know that a bunch of you guys have a good read on the Panthers. So Johnny Redbeard wants to cap the Raiders. Sports Capper still likes the Saints. We're going to get to your Raiders. I want to talk about this game. I want to go down in order of the contest. Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers -2.5 with a 44.5 over-under. Winston went 32 for 44 for 384 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Fair to say that he is back. O.J. Howard, 6 for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. What a great draft pick. Mike Evans, 7 for 88 yards. Doug Martin is done. Put him out to pasture. 20 for 49 yards, 20 carries, 49 yards last week. The Luke Kuechly injury is devastating, but this Trey Turner and Ryan Khalil injuries are very tough to deal with as well. Who's going to protect Newton? Newton did not look good. 21 for 34, 211 yards, 0 TDs, 2 interceptions versus the Bears. McCaffrey, 7 carries for 10 yards rushing. The fuck is wrong with this kid? Shula's in his 5th season as offensive coordinator. I think they need a change. All right. So one last note we have on that game before we move on is Tomor, which is an interesting note saying, I think it's important to remember that Trubisky has never played on the road in a stadium like New Orleans. That is a very good point. All right. John Rhodes Jr. likes Tampa Bay, and so do I. -2.5. I think this is a nice spot. Armin says, Carolina, hard to read. No question about that. Tomor says, Tampa Bay's secondary is trash, but Alexander and David are back. Kuechly might not play. I see no edge in this game. I think both teams are teams to bet against. Those are some good points. It's not that Kuechly might not play. Kuechly might not play again. And he's not going to play this week. Scott K says, no doubt, Tomor. I like to see how it goes. Or how it does, how he does throwing 25, 30. Oh, Scott K is talking about Trubisky and Tomor. Trubisky and Tomor's comments. Tomor says, I lean Tampa, but their secondary is horrible. Ooh, Gigi says taking the over should be easy. But can you trust this Carolina Panther offense even against a bad defense? I don't know if you can. But that is an interesting point, Gigi. And I'm going to put a question mark beside it. Tomor says, I agree, Scott. Saints can stop the run. Okay. Dale 04 says, Cam Newton for me just doesn't care and doesn't give 100%. He's far too casual. Chris Blanchard says, yeah, but the Bills D is legit. Tampa Bay were gashed by McCoy. Play the over. Interesting. Sports Capper says they both have bad coaching. Interesting. Dave, my man Dave Huang in the house. Thank you for joining us, pal. Nice to have you. Tomor says, in the playoffs, yes. About betting hockey. Sorry, I didn't watch NHL growing up. Focus on NBA at this time of year. I feel you, man. A lot of cash in the NBA. I'm a big line adjuster. My man Johnny Redbeard says Carolina about as reliable as a pedophile at a kid's birthday party. You know, I don't think you need to even be at a kid's birthday party. Pedophiles are unreliable in all circumstances. Aspire to Elate says, I like Carolina here. Winston will be good for 3 turnovers. Buy up to 3. I think you're right there. Ziggy Ball. My lean is Panthers plus 2.5. Damn. Not what I was hoping to hear, Ziggy Balls. Can you give us some backup information? Adam Lastman says, wouldn't touch this game. Well, I like Tampa. But obviously there is a vividness and recency bias that I'm dealing with. Tomor says, I think Winston was impressive last game against a solid Bills defense. I see no case for betting Carolina with a banged-up O-line and no running game. This game is Tampa's season. I agree. Dale 04 says, after all the hype, Tampa ain't living up to it. Absolutely. Tampa Bay and their defense especially has been extremely underwhelming. Scott K says, Jimmy, how much did you bet on Portland, may I ask? Of course, you can always ask Scott K. I tweet out all my action every day. I have $150 on the Portland Trail Blazers. I would have gone down to the bet box, but Tuesdays are a real tough day for me. Real busy day, and I couldn't get down there. Coleman says, good hit for the Astros. Okay. Gigi says that's terrible. Not entirely sure. Oh, you're probably talking about the Johnny Redbeard's pedophilia comments. Or maybe mine as well. I'm not entirely sure what Gigi finds terrible, but if I was guessing about the last 2 minutes of this show, probably that. Tampa Bay's up 2-0 at the end of the second. Florida's up 1-0. I had a Habs fan send me a fucking long message saying, bad idea. The Habs need this game for their whole season. Fucking blah, fucking blah, blah, fucking blah. They're a tiny little team that's easy to play against. Ziggy Ball says Tampa is not a good home favorite. They're barely favored, 2.5 points. I think Tomor had some points that I'm very comfortable with about what Winston looked like against a good Bills defense. Although the Bills defense hasn't been as good as I was hoping for this year either, but I like Tampa in this spot. Tomor says, I opened an account at Heritage last week. Their NBA openers are great. You cannot bet the NBA if you can't hit openers at this time of year. Early with significant line movement, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right, Tomor. And I'm going to probably ask you more questions about Heritage. As soon as the World Series is over, I'm going to open up 2 new accounts, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do it. Gigi says, I think a lot of it is on Kuechly. And he was talking about the birthday party. I agree. I agree that was terrible stuff. And DC Coleman agrees with Gigi, hopefully about Kuechly and not about the birthday party. We should move on from that. I don't think Kuechly is going to play again this year. Aspire to Elite likes Bookmaker. I've heard some people say that. And I've heard some negative stuff about Bookmaker too. They're in the list. It's really Pinnacle, 5 Dimes, Heritage, and Bookmaker right now. Tomor says, I agree Bill's defense is overrated. I still think his game was impressive given how good Bill's pass rush is. I really like over in the Bills Oakland on that point, and I like that over too. We are almost there. Okay, well, you didn't. I still like Tampa. There weren't a lot of holes poked in my ideas. Mario Martinez Jr. is not with us tonight. He has got a lot of stats to back up why I'm wrong, and he's not with us tonight. See, Aspire to Elite says 5 Dimes close me. That's the thing I'm worried about. What's the point of getting the best lines if you're just going to get closed for winning? Thank you for letting me know that, Aspire to Elite. That dampens my opinion on him. Tomor says Oakland O-line has been better. Let's Scott K says, why do Aspire to Elite? It's because Aspire to Elite was winning money. That's why. 5 Dimes shuts people down for winning money. For middling. Okay, 49ers at Eagles minus 13 with a 47.5 over under. Let's talk about it. For the Eagles, this Peters injury hurts really bad. Wentz is going to have to learn about life without an all-pro left tackle covering his blind side. The 49ers looked awful last week. There's no question about it. Zeke torched them for 219 yards. There's no Armstead, and maybe there's going to be no Foster. I can't believe Eric Reed is playing linebacker. I can't fathom who would make that decision. It just looks and sounds fucking ridiculous to me. All right. Okay, so we have some action on this. So Tomor has a thing on here that has a great reputation for not closing accounts. I've only used them for a week, though. Their bonus was great. They have reduced juice to at minus 108. Interesting. I'll stay in touch with you about that, Tomor. I'll stay in touch with you. I'm about a week and a half away from settling. Okay, Scott K says Eagles. My man Dave Huang says Eagles will win by 21. Ooh, DC Coleman comes in with 49ers and over. Ooh. There was a lot of talk about the over today when we were strategizing for these games. Dale Laporte says, what do you think this line closes at? I see public money flying in for this game. I can see closing at, say, minus 15, and that's a horrible number. Wow. Gigi says, still think the Eagles get it done. Tomor, and we know that Tomor knows this Philly team inside and out, so I'm looking forward to hear his opinion. I am 5-1 betting the Eagles, Tomor says. Lost the game when they played Carolina, and I bet against the Eagles, not thinking Cox would play. I think this is a pass spot, letdown spot for Eagles, in my opinion. I'm uncomfortable with it, too. Oh, Salazar is in the house. Says, the hell with these kneelers. Real athletes don't kneel. I've never seen Gunrunner kneel. Breeders' Cup next week. Man! Speaking of Gunrunner, I'm going to bet heavy on Gunrunner. I'm going to bet heavy on him. I'm not sure at this point, but if I can get, close to 2-1, if I can get 8-5 even, you think, Salazar, you think I'll get 8-5 on Gunrunner? I'll put $500 on him. And Scott K says, I think Peters is out too. Yeah, Peters is done for the year. That's going to be tough. I agree. This is a dangerous game. I'm uncomfortable with it. If it goes up too high, if it does go up to 15, it'd be hard not to want to put some money on the Niners. It's tough. It's a dangerous spot. We don't seem to have a lot of action on this either. Not a lot of people give a fuck about the 49ers anymore. They're such a bad football team. But the Eagles look good, and that was a big loss, losing Peters. Tomor says, I have big bets on the Eagles to win the division. Yeah, and we're all cheering for you, my man. But I think the injuries at linebackers are very important. Hicks was very good, out for the year. Kendrick should be out too. Eagles got gashed in the middle of the field. Interesting. Well, we know that the Hicks injury was sad and bad. Ziggy Ball says, my lean is 49ers plus 13. Eagles, big win on Monday night. This is a letdown spot for Eagles versus winless 49ers. Eagles are on a short week and win versus their division. I agree. It's going to be tough. Tomor says, Peters' injury is huge too. Eagles don't have good depth on the O-line. Rob Ayman, or Ayman, not sure. Rob, thank you for joining us. Fact or fiction? Browns make a midseason coaching change if they get blown out in London. I think that's fiction. I think they're going to stick with you. Yeah, Scott K says fiction. Ooh, perfect rotation. 89-82 Brooklyn, man. We need a solid fourth quarter. I'm cheering for you. That's great. Mikey, my man Mikey is in the house. What up, Jimmy? Thanks for joining us, Mikey. Okay, that game did not get a lot of interest, and I get it. Let's go. Oh, he's listed as a favorite now, but Arrowgate is getting high reviews for his workouts, and that Cali money may back him. I'm guessing even money on Gunrunner. Yeah, damn. I was hoping I'd get a little. Don't you think I got 7-5 on Gunrunner? Fuck, I'm so excited. So excited, Salazar, and you're going to be there in person. I'm so jealous, but I'm looking forward to some picks, and I just want you to have a wonderful time at Del Mar. What a great track. Luke Chase Fox is back with us, man. Got off the phone with those bitches. Eagles will kill the 49ers. Y'all are tripping. Eagles money line. Eagles money line? You can't take the Eagles money line. That's what are you going to get? Minus 1,500? Minus 2,000? What is it, right? It's not going to be good. Someone says, I think the problem with firing Jackson is there is no one to take his place. Who the fuck wants that job? I'm sure a lot of people would like that job, but it's a tough spot to be in. Rob says, Niners will get their first win against the Cardinals. I hope so. Oh, wow. Dale says, 204 points, 8 minutes left in Cavs game. Yeah, they got me. Well, what's the score, Dale? Because I made an official pick on Loshak in the bag for the Bulls to cover 14.5. Scott says, I think they should sell. Cleveland should fire everybody and start over. I get it. Justin Emmert says minus 900. Okay, well, that's not as bad as I thought, Luke Chase. My fault. Minus 900. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to bet a lot of money. But if you got a lot of money, I get it. Mikey says Hernandez and Barnes offering a big boost against lefties for the Dodgers. Cavs are up by 8 with 8 minutes left. Should be okay. Right? Look at a 12-point lead and empty the bench. Okay. Next game, Raiders at Bills, -3 with an over-under of 46, and I'm thinking it goes over. Why is the Raiders' defense so bad? Did anybody explain this to me? They look good on paper. Now, Carr looked like his old self, 29 for 52, 417 yards, 3 TDs. Amari Cooper was a boss, 11 catches for 210 yards and 2 TDs. But the Bills' offense is looking good, which is refreshing. McCoy went 23 for 91 yards. Deontay Thompson, 4 catches for 107 yards. I like the over in this, and it may be one of my 5 picks. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Chicago is covering. Indiana's coming back down to earth. Okay. Well, we still got lots of points with Indiana. You could feel free to give me an update anytime. Justin Emmert says, I'll parlay the Eagles with other games to boost the winning sum. Yeah, I've been known to do that before. Sports Capper says, Raiders plus the points. I'm 5-1 against the spread on or against the Bills, so I got to trust my own judgment. Yeah, so what do you think about the over-under in that, Sports Capper? Chris Blanchard likes Raiders money line. Well, you're getting some action. I mean, they're dogs, so you're going to make a little cash there. Rob says Ken Norton will be fired after this season. I agree. I think he will be fired as well. Tomor says, I really like the over here at 45.5. What do I have it at? 46? Okay. The Bills' offense is better at home. Taylor runs more. The Bills' offensive line is underrated. Bills move the ball at home, even with mediocre receivers. I agree. Armin says, because it's the Raiders, and he's laughing. Lou Chase, my man, says, I like the Raiders. They are streaky, but Tyrod can't beat good teams. Tomor says, Bills' secondary is overrated. They get torched when they don't get pressure, and Oakland's offensive line looks better. Scott K says, take the over. GG says, middle linebackers and safeties. Tomor says, I've been good on the Bills. The offense has been much better at home. Scott K, Oakland and Buffalo. Over on that game. I like the over here too. 46 points, I think that's feasible. My man Rob says, I'd laugh if Jalen Richards has a great game with beast mode suspended. I think that's almost impossible, but I don't think they'll be any worse than Lynch has been. He's looked bad this year. The fastest I've seen him run all year was into that fight. Luce says, I like the over also. Both teams will score. Only a 3-point game in the camp. Perfect. Should cover. I can't believe I let that fucking go, man. This is fucking stupid. Johnny Redbeard says, I think Raiders is the play of the week and over is a lock. Like to hear that, Johnny. I like that a lot. Aspire to Elate says, Raiders hate going across the country, but give me the field goal with the better team. I'm not certain that the Raiders are the better team anymore. Ziggy Ball says, Mylene is Raiders plus the points. Raiders need this win more than the Bills. Bills are in a good spot. The Raiders are on a long day of rest. Well, I like the over. I'm going to stick with that at this point. Mikey says, Jimmy, Lightning look legit. I think that point you made a while back about Vasi taking over as the main goaltender with Bishop leaving has improved his performance. Bet on the team for me until further notice. I will, Mikey. It was a big mistake that I'm very disappointed in. I should have had them tonight. And I don't want to fuck that up. Rob says, Lynch is on the wrong side of 30. Time is not on his side. Yeah. You can't take a year off of football and come back when you're over 30. Unless you're Peyton Manning, but when he came back, he didn't look very good either. Okay, let's move on. This is a tough game to figure out. I don't like it either. Let's move on with it. Colts at Bengals. Minus 10.5 with a 41-point over under. That will be the next game we'll talk about. Colts at Bengals minus 10.5. We have a couple more things. Tomar says, yeah, and Lynch has taken a lot of hits in his career, no question. Luce says, Raiders are at their hearts a passing team. They will be throwing, and the Bills are weak to the deep ball. I agree. I think this over is a definite move for me. And my man Dave says, Jimmy, you from Van City? Very much so. Born and raised in Vancouver. Spent a little time growing up in Tofino, but Vancouver's my city and always has been. Rob says, Bengals. Battle of the hot seat coaches. Luce says, scary game. I'm off it. I think this is scary too. Let's talk a bit about it. Malik Hooker was the only bright spot. Actually, I'll take that back. I think Brissett has played quite well this year. I mean, obviously, he had a really tough game, but if you can forget that last game, Malik Hooker tore his ACL and MCL. That hurts bad. How bad did the Colts look? Holy fuck! The Jags got 10 sacks on Brissett. Dalton does not look good for the Chargers. He looks awful. 17 for 30, 140 yards. Green, 3 for 41 yards. LaFell, 4 catches for 28 yards. But also, the Bengals are fucking idiots. They have Hill and Bernard and go out and draft. They have Hill and Bernard. So go out and draft somebody to play offensive line. You draft John Ross because he runs the fastest 40 ever? How's that working out? Draft Usain Bolt. Then they draft Joe Mixon. So now you have a shitty, fast team. The fuck are you guys thinking? Your brain trust is fucking ridiculous. Colts at Bengals, minus 10.5. Let's see what you guys think. Aspire to Late says, tease Indy up. And the over-under down. That's interesting. I like that. That's an interesting move. Tomore says, Cincinnati's always been much better at home. They went 8-0 at home a couple years ago, and this game is for their season. I'm not betting this game, but teams have tape on Brissett. Think his run is over. Interesting. Rob says, Indy has no D. You're absolutely right. My man Justin Emmert says, Colts only stayed in the game versus Cardinals, Browns, and 49ers. Every other team blew them out. Chris Blanchard says, maybe the under. The Bengals have a legit D. Can't see the Colts scoring. GG says, Bengals no. Bengals and team over. Chris Blanchard says, yeah, he's being hurt. Rob says, I wouldn't be surprised if Dalton is traded. Dale 04 is saying it's 1-1. I'm guessing that's the Habs game, which I don't like. Oh, Houston. Oh, no, in the baseball game. Okay, good. Okay, Homer Houston. 1-1 tie. Astros tie the game. Let me know what inning is that game in. Chris Blanchard says, nice. Give me the runs. Yeah, man, I want you guys to hit that over. Make that fucking bank. Tomar agrees. I agree Bengals need a better offensive line, but the draft was very weak on the O-line. Offensive line has been much better at home, and Colts pass rush isn't what the Steelers was. You're right there. David Huang says the Bengals are on my teaser. Ziggy Ball says, my lean is the Colts plus 10.5. No way Bengals should be favored by that much. It's an overreaction. I think you're right, Ziggy Balls. Bregman homered. Nice. He's a good player. DC Coleman's fired up, man. Tied up. Let's go Astros. Armin is not happy. Freaking Houston. Now, obviously, I don't know if you guys know my situation right now, but I'll make an extra 20, a little over $2,000, 2,300 if the Dodgers win the World Series. I did hedge on the Astros before the Yankee series, so it's not awful if the Astros win, but I would much rather have the Dodgers win. Tomar says no one wants Dalton with his contract. He's owed around $20 million a year. God, are you right? Are you absolutely right? Oh, Lute's Fox says Kershaw looked like a girl when I pull my dick out. Kershaw looked like a girl when I pull my dick out. This feels like a riddle. Kershaw looked like a girl when I pull my dick out. Is Kershaw in the room with you right now? Dale says top of the fourth. Okay. 105 Bulls, 112 Cavs with 5:35 left. Okay, we're in good spot there. Chris Blanchard says ball should be flying with the Heat. Ross is going to be good. Just needs to be healthy. Tomar says, I'm so sick of hearing excuses for Kershaw in the postseason. He's not elite in the postseason. Has never been. Lastman likes the Colts. Lastman likes dogs. But I respect that. Tomar says Kershaw's good in the postseason, but not elite. Rob says Houston winning the World Series would be great for Fresno. Okay. Alert Eddie in the house. Baseball pitching is tough. The Astros lineup ain't no joke. Johnny Redbeard says, Jimmy, quick question. What's your biggest hit at the horse races? I've had two big hits. They were both pick fours. One was just under $6,000, and one was just over $4,000. It's always about pick fours, man. Pick fours are where all the money is. Luce says it's a riddle. Okay. Think about it. Should I write it down, Luce? It's funny. Okay, Delta 75 in the house, maybe with his own riddle. Orbs make hologram planes that spray chemtrails. I think I have a better chance with this Kershaw and Luchase's cock out. Johnny Redbeard says, been trying to study the whole horse betting, lots to learn, would love some info sometime. Oh, Johnny, I got you, man. Next week's going to be a real big week, all leading up to the Breeders' Cup. It's all about the pick fours. Now, it's harder when you have a low budget to do pick fours solo, but we'll get into all that stuff. Rob says, Breeders' Cup next weekend. It's a big fucking deal. And Luchase wants to talk horses. That's more fun. You know what? Adam says, I knew someone who hit a superfecta for $30K. Luce says, Lady Eli, she is my favorite horse in the world. And we'll only get to watch her run one more time. And she'll be running on Saturday in the Turf Classic. And I'm sad talking about it. Yeah. Dale says, horse racing is huge over here in England. No, I didn't know you were over there, Dale. Yeah, it is huge, man. And your best horses come over for the breeders. We're looking forward to it. Yeah. Okay, well, the Colts Bengals is done. Okay, we've got a few more games, and we got a bunch more games, and we don't have too much time because Gabe Morency's show is coming on in 55 minutes. So stick around and watch that, man. He's absolutely incredible. This is a game I'm really interested in. I know you guys will be. Coyotes tied it up. Fuck. Brooklyn up 101-95. 9 minutes left. I love it. Pelicans under 114. I got first half. Nervous. Damn it, Coyotes tied up. Fuck. Oh, Rob says, I wish California would consolidate its racing circuit. Yeah, there's definitely issues in California. But Santa Anita is my favorite place in the whole world. There's no place I'd rather be. Okay. Delta says Steelers are a healthy team. You're right. Chargers at Patriots, -75 with a 48-point over, under. I am leaning towards the under in this game. Very curious to see what you guys think. Oh, okay, sure. Hey, Dale04. My man Salazar is a guy I love talking horses with. He's wondering if there's racing in London in January. He's coming over in January. He wants to know if he can hammer some horses. So, is there horse racing in January? All right. How do they come up with horse names? You're allowed 17 spaces. If you use actual space, that counts as one of them. And that's about it. Oh no, Andrew, Montreal scores. Fuck. And Rob says Delmar is awesome. So is Belmont. You know, I still haven't been to Delmar. It's the problem, but I've been to Belmont a couple times. I like it there. Mikey says, has Philip Rivers ever won 4 games in a row in his life? Dale says that it's good. Salazar, it's all good. Says there's horse racing every single day. Delta went to Delmar. It's gorgeous, eh? Yeah, Habs tied it up. It's okay. It's okay. Alert Eddie says, take the Philip Rivers passing yards prop bet. Interesting. Tomar says, I think it's a tough game to bet. Patriots defense can't put together consecutive good games. Letdown spot for New England. Chargers defense ain't good. In my opinion, with Red out, Denver's just trash on the road. Keeneland. Jimmy, just behind Delmar. Yeah, Keeneland has the dress code, Salazar. We talked about that. I fucking hate that dress code. And I hate that there's no infield. Because that's what I do. Rob says, Arrowgate will win the Breeders' Cup. Well, Rob, I'd be happy to put a little side action on that shit with my boy Dumb Runner. Chris Blatchard says, Rivers has had some good games against the Pats with better defenses than this year's Pats. I like that Rivers prop, Luce says. Luce likes that Rivers prop that Alert Eddie brought up. Passing yards prop. Interesting. Rob says, I wish they would fix up Golden Gate Field. It's becoming a trashy park, and it shouldn't be. Delta 75 says, Chargers own the Colts, not the Pats. Ziggy Ball says, Mylena's Chargers plus the points. They need this. Chargers are a good underdog. Dale 4 says, what spread did you end up for the Cavs game? Cavs up 11 with 4 minutes. So I got 14.5. So it's touch and go. Mikey says, I like the Pats in this one. Well, Bosa got 2 more sacks last week. He's an absolute beast. Their D is getting better and better. The Pats have no pass rush whatsoever. But their team seems to be figuring everything out, don't they? It's around this time of year where Belichick teams always seem to start figuring shit out. Hogan, Cooks, Gronk are making plays. Lewis went 13 for 76 yards. This Pats team is improving quickly right in front of our eyes. Mikey says, defense should have some more confidence from last week. Delta 75 says, we beat the Pats in New England. Must have been 2006 or 2007. Michael Turner was a monster. It's been 10 years. Rob says, the sad part is Golden Gate is the only thoroughbred track in the Bay Area. I know. It's a joke. There's so much money in the Bay Area. That track shouldn't be deteriorating the way it is. And there's no purses in Golden Gate. You need purses. You need money. You need a whole bunch of things to make that track better. It's disappointing. Salazar says there's no dress code at Keeneland. I do not believe that for a second. He says, I've seen old sleuths without clothes on at Keeneland. I find that very difficult to believe. Salazar, very difficult to believe. Funny, but very difficult to believe. Sports Capper says the early kick might trouble the Chargers, but Rivers has a history of being better on the road and on the East Coast. You know, I kind of like the Chargers here, -7.5, but not enough to make it one of my best 5 bets. But I like the under. I'm curious what you guys think about it. Tomor talking horse racing, saying it's more of an old money sport, much bigger on the East Coast and the South in the U.S. You know, Tomor, it's huge at Santa Anita. Huge. It's a big, big deal. It's a giant track with huge purses and a lot of cash. Dale says the big money for horse racing now is Dubai. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know exactly how Dubai works because you can't even bet on the fucking horses in Dubai. Makes no sense. When you're in Dubai, you can't do it. As far as I know. Maybe Salazar will help me on that. Alert Eddie says, Cavs give up too many points. They don't even try on defense. I think they just don't try against a shitty team like the Bulls. Tomor says West Coast is mostly new money. I feel you. Delta 75 says under what? The under is 48 points. JRB says, what's my favorite track of all time? Well, my favorite track of all time is Santa Anita. The track that means the most to me is Hastings Park in Vancouver. been there since 1887, and I love it. I just feels like home. My dad raised me at that track. We spent so much time there together and taught me how to read a racing form, which is a very complicated piece of sporting information. And yeah, that's my track. All right. Okay, Chris Blanchard comes in. Says Rivers is 1-6 career versus Pats, including playoffs. Interesting. That's not a very good record. Delta 7575 says Chargers will be behind at halftime, then come back in the fourth, then last minute drive and misses a field goal again. Rob says California just mismanages horse racing with declining stock. I hear you, but there's still a lot of money at Santa Anita. So as long as that's going, and I'm going to feel good about it. Tomar says, I would only bet the under, but I think it's a letdown spot for the Patriots. Not sure how sharp Brady will be. I wasn't impressed with Brady last week. Think he's starting to show it. He's what? Oh no. Fuck. Habs are up 3-1. Cocksucker. James Reimer fucking me in the goat hole. God damn it. Cavs up 8 with 1:30 left. Should be a winner for you. Thank God. Rob says the Pats will stomp the Chargers. Delta's waiting on the Pelicans game. Yeah, we all are. Montreal, Tampa, Chicago might go 3-0. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You got Montreal, Tampa, and Chi-Town might go 3-0. I hope you do, Andrew. If I'm going to lose, then I hope you win, my man. Okay, so there's a thought that the Patriots are going to have a letdown. Chargers are going to be down at the half and come battling back. I still think the under is an interesting spot, but we'll move on to the next game. Texans at Seahawks, -5.5. Seahawks are 5.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45.5. So for the Texans, left tackle Chris Clark just got hurt, so the timing couldn't be better for the Dwayne Brown signing. The Texans are coming off a bye, which should help. But the Seahawks are a tough team, a tough old team. Seahawks can't run the ball and have no pass protection. That is not a recipe for winning football. Russell Wilson runs for his life until someone gets open, but they're still a good football team. I'm curious to see what you guys think of this. Islanders 3-2. There we go. Thank you for that great information, Chris Blanchard. Respect the messenger. Okay. Chris Blanchard likes the Hawks -5.5. Rob's taking the Texans to upset. Shit, you're going to get a juicy money line number there. Blue Chase loves the Texans in this spot. DC Coleman likes the Seahawks. Sports Capper likes the Texans. Wow. Tomor says, I think Seattle's a very mediocre team, but Houston's defense sucks with Watt and Merciless out. Seattle's offensive line has been much better at home. I am not betting this game. I don't think I'm going to bet this game at this point either. Johnny Redbeard says, the only thing they have is home field advantage. I agree. Chris Blanchard says, at home, Watson is in for a long game. Blue Chase thinks Watson is going to score. Tomor says, I think it's hard to ignore that all of Watson's good games have been against bad defenses. He was trash against Cincy and KC. Interesting. My man Salazar comes in with some horse act. He says, sheiks in Dubai bet oil contracts and mask salutes between themselves. No money bets. They have morals. Is that right, Salazar? Is that right? You're using masked salutes and morals in the same sentence. Impressive work. I love it. Aspire to Elite says, I'm staying away. Sports Capper says, Watson can roll out and pass. He's going to have to. Ziggy Ball says, Mylena Seahawks with the spread. Rob does not like the Seahawks. Calls them the Sea Chickens. Says the Sea Chickens D isn't as good as it used to be. It's just older and more banged up. Lamont Williams is in the house. Says, I need Orlando to tits up. Yeah. I don't know what this. I'm trying not to focus too much on the action going on and stay focused on you guys. But what's the score in that game, Lamont? Delta says pass. I agree. It's a dangerous spot. Oh, and the fouling commences in the Cavs game. 23 seconds, 6-point game. All right, man. Sounds like I'm gonna be hitting some basketball action when I took a lot of shit. Perfect rotation says, all right, Bag, there is time. My cheeks are tighter than 2 Girl Scouts. 5 minutes left, up 5. Okay. I believe that Perfect Rotation has the most money on one game out of all of us right now. Perfect Rotation has $500 on the Nets on Brooklyn. That will pay out a shitload of money. I can't remember. Sorry, I'm all caught up. Perfect Rotation. Do you have them on the money line or the spread? You could give me that information. We are all excited about your action. Johnny Redbeard says Hawks Gong Show, Field Gong Show, season tickets there just fucked up. Not a fan of the Seahawks, but love the game. I've always been a fan of the Seahawks, you know, being right on the border there. Always was a big Steve Largent fan, Dave Craig fan. Coleman wants to know what's the over-under the Seahawks game. It's 45.5, but I guess it's been changing, but it's 45.5 right now. Mikey says Seahawks are 8-0 off a road game and 10-0 at home off a road game. Very interesting. First real hostile road test for Watson, and Seattle Red Zone D's been looking really good. Tomor says Qatar has a lot of control in Dubai now because they bailed them out of a financial crisis. Qatar is very conservative, even though Dubai is known for being a more liberal city, which I think is part of the reason of no bets. I think you're right, Tomor. Perfect. Okay, you have a +5. Okay, good. That's good. So you have them +5, and they're up 5. So this is a nice spot. Chris Blanchard says Ducks at +125 was the NHL play of the day. Did they take care of the Flyers? That would have been a great play. Play that's much better than my skill provides for me. Delta says 119-112 final score Cavs. Definitely. Delta says Dave Craig, Mr. Fumble. Hey, he wasn't that good. I just liked him. He was the quarterback. Chris Blanchard says Largent and Warren were good. They sure were. And Johnny Redbeard says, Jimmy, do you ever dabble in lightning bets over under? Yeah, I do. Tomor says doesn't care about me. Okay. Scott Kane needs Tampa to hold on. I feel you. And Chris Blanchard, 5-1 in the third. Jesus Christ, is that? Oh, is that the Ducks? Is that the Ducks are up 5-1 over the Flyers in the third? Wow. Tomor laughs. He says Dave Craig and Warren Moon were the king of fumbles. Hey, Tomor, you remember Warren Moon when he was in the NFL? When he was in the CFL, he was in his prime. That's when he should have been in the NFL. When he won 5 straight Grey Cups for the Edmonton Eskimos, but there were no black quarterbacks playing in the NFL. That's when you would have seen him as the best quarterback in the whole entire world. And Delta says Warren couldn't throw a screen pass. Come on, he was an old man by then. Okay. Next game. This is a real interesting one. And we don't have too much time, so we gotta keep rolling. Dallas -2.5 at Washington. Now, at first, I was really leaning Washington, but I might have been talked out of it. Definitely not going to be one of my top 5. The over-under is 50.5. Josh Norman is expected to be back. They need him for one-on-one versus Des Badley, but too bad they have no Jonathan Allen. That's the problem. Who's going to stop Zeke? Cowboys have Sean Lee back. That's a big help. I do not think Dak Prescott is a very good quarterback. I think he's just a game manager. And we shouldn't have a vividness bias over last week's Cowboys win. The Niners have 15 rookies on their 53-man roster. 15 rookies. All right, Rob says Penguins lead the Oilers 1-0. Dale says, ever bet the AHL? There's usually some good spots. You know, it's hard. It's hard to study the AHL that much. You almost have to be in the city to really know the teams. So no, I don't bet the AHL. But if you were ever going to hammer it, I'd be very curious to see what you were doing. Tomor says, yeah, I didn't know that. I knew Warren Moon wasn't drafted and played outside of the NFL. I thought, yeah, he was the greatest quarterback in CFL history. Chris Blanchard says, him, Holloway, and DeWalt were great in the CFL. You're absolutely right, Chris Blanchard. Really good knowledge there, man. Respect, Chris. Okay. Scott K says Washington. See, that's where I was leaning, but I think I got talked out of it. Chris Blanchard said the Cowboys always win in Washington. Sports Capper says Skins for me. Tomor says I think Dallas is healthy now. Lee back, as you said. I think Redskins have too many injuries, but this is the game of their season. I'm not betting it. I get it. Salazar says I was wanting Washington also. Too many injuries for me to load up. Exactly. Rob says I'm taking Washington. They will put a spy on Dak. I think you're right. They will. They really need Norman back. As I said, it's just too bad Jonathan Allen isn't there. Blue Chase says that Cowboys will murder the Redskins like it's 1867. Now that's a little much. It's a little much. Humorous, but the Cowboys. A lot of Cowboys fans think they're in a really good spot here. Armin says Bailey out, going to hurt us. Yeah. Delta 7575 says Brett Hundley can be as good as Dak. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I've never seen Huntley throw a ball proper. And Dallas is somewhat healthy. Yeah. Armin says no word on is the kicker going to sign for the Cowboys. That's a good question. I don't know. Aspire Too Late says I follow the Erie Otters. I'll pass along my picks. Dope, man. I'd love that. That's great. Coyotes 3-3. Ah, God damn it. Thanks for the info, though, GG. Tomor doesn't care. Coleman says Cowboys win. Washington lost all hope last night. Tomor says good spot for the Redskins, if not for the injuries, in my opinion. I think Dallas secondary is weak, and Cousins should have success. Interesting. Perfect Rotation does not think that Huntley is as good as Dak. Rob says I'd laugh if Washington takes out Zeke. And Perfect Rotation is still upset, very upset that Huntley would be compared to Dak Prescott. Tomor says Huntley was horrible in college. Prescott was good at very good at MSU. You're right. And Tomor agrees with Perfect Rotation. Sports Capper likes the Skins. Delta 7575 says healthy teams: Bills, Seahawks, Cowboys, Rams, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Chargers, Chiefs. Israel Williams, welcome to the show, my man. Says Huntley sucks. Adam Lastman likes the over. It's 50.5 though. It's not a light over, but I could see why someone would like the over. I'll put a question mark on it. Delta says the banged up teams: Ravens, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Colts, San Francisco, Dolphins, Pats, New Orleans, G-Men, Jets, Skins. Perfect Rotation says no one should make outlandish comments like that and get away with it. Huntley is a punk. Ducks blasting the Flyers 5-1. Well, there's a very differing of opinions. Obviously, if the Washington Redskins weren't hammered with all these injuries, it'd be a live situation. I do think the over is an interesting spot. Salazar says, how's the condo prices in Costa Rica? I need one and a renter. You know, Salazar, I don't know if you've I know you've been following me for a few months, and you know I had a tough summer. I'm not looking into buying anything. But Salazar, come on down, man. Come on down. Let's hang out. We'll look at some condos together. But you got to come on the weekend, man. I'm busy as fuck during the week. Tomor says, I think you have to be very careful betting Dallas overs. They have a good offense, but they're the slowest tempo team in the NFL. That is a really good point. He says, I'd lean over, but it's rough with Redskins' lack of a deep passing game. Yeah, man. The offseason moves they made were so questionable. It's like they were setting Cousins up for failure. Dale says, looks like this game is going to end up a bullpen game. Oh, I have to favor the Dodgers, talking about baseball here. Luce says, Cowboys just put up 40 points. I think that game was a confidence builder against the 49er defense full of rookies. Ziggy Ball says, my lean is Redskins plus 2.5, but wait for the line to go up. Interesting. Tomor says, Scott, I've hit 8 straight college bets. Nice. Only bet 2 to 3 games a week. I started slow, but been on fire recently. Mikey says, Cowboys are 10-0 against the spread. Wow. Off a road game. 10-0 against the spread off a road game where they're averaging more than 24 points per game over the last 3. Don't see why that should stop, especially if Norman is out. I think Norman will be playing. I think he will be playing. He's expected to be playing. Okay, we got a few more games. We got 2 more games, and then we can talk about anything you guys want for a little bit. But we don't have that much time, as the Gabe Morency show will be coming in a second. And, man, stick around for that because he's absolutely incredible. Okay, so you guys. Oh, Big E. Nice to have you, homie. Nice. Yeah, I know Big E's a big Saints fan. And we like the Saints this week, but 9 points is a lot against the Bears. I wonder what you think, Big E. Okay. Everybody, this I think is my best bet now. Poke holes in it. Okay, let me know it's not the right move. Let me know. Okay, Steelers -3 at the Lions. 44.5 point spread. I like the Steelers here very much. The Steelers have played good football 2 weeks in a row. The Steelers are really healthy for this time of year. Really healthy for this time of year. Bell went 35 for 134 yards. Now, yeah, the Lions are coming off a bye, but they were exposed by the Saints. We said on this show here, this very show, that they were overachieving early. Now, Haloti Ngata is done for the year. That's a big loss. TJ Lang back injury hurts real bad. I like the Steelers. Let's see what you guys think. Aspire to Elate says Ben terrible on the road. He's had a tough season. But the health of the Steelers team and hitting that big low a few weeks ago with their backs against the wall, coming back. Obviously, Bell is a monster. Let's see. Adam Lastman says Lions game goes over 44.5. I don't know. It's possible. Tomore says, Jimmy, I agree 100%. The matchup is good for Pittsburgh since Lions have no pass rush, but I've never been able to make money betting Tomlin off of big games, and they've won just 2 big games. Yeah, those are really good points. Mikey says the Lions secondary won't be able to stop the Steelers, even with Ben's track record on the road. I agree, Mikey. Aspire Too Late says under. Ben terrible on the road. Steelers D is nasty. I'm from Pittsburgh. Well, I love your city. Pittsburgh is a great, great city. I've only had the chance to spend. I've been there twice and for short periods, but I fucking loved it. Got the Intercontinental for $100. I went to a Pens game. They shut up the Kings 3-0. I went to a meatball bar. I fucking loved it, man. What a great city. City of bridges. Fuck. Love Pittsburgh. Okay. Tomore says, this game is Detroit season and Stafford is good at home. Delta 7575 says, Steelers 31-27. My man Salazar says, Steelers and Patriots going to start showing their muscle. Delta 7575 says, 44.5 is a bargain. Ziggy Ball says, Eileen Steelers -3. My fear is Steelers can lay an egg like they've shown. Rob Iman says, I'm taking the Steelers. Tomore says, I think this is a tough game since the Steelers aren't good on the road. Islanders 4, Coyotes 3. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you for the good news. Big E says, I hate to take the Saints -9 points, but it could happen. I'm going to listen to our insiders and research it some. Well, Big E, let me know. Let me know on Twitter what you think, because I'm seriously considering it myself. Scott K says that's a good bet. Bet the early line. It's going to go up. Rob Iman says Detroit is a middle of the pack team. I agree. Overachieving team. Dale says, you just know the Steelers go up big and the Lions come back late for a cover like usual. Fourth quarter Kings they are. There's no joke about that. Sports Capper says, Big Ben's first Super Bowl was in Detroit. That is a great call, Sports Capper. I forgot about that. Israel Williams says, Lions have been tanking. Johnny Redbeard says, that's what I was thinking. Thanks, Scott. Adam Lastman, Ball State. Okay, I'm talking college there. Ziggy Ball says, I would stay off the Steelers. Tomore says, I just think the Steelers might be flat here. I agree with you. It's a good matchup for Pittsburgh. Interesting. Scotty K says, Jimmy, I'm liking the over on Chicago versus Vegas. What do you think? I like it too, but you know what? I was going to take the Blackhawks team total over, and I was hoping to get 3, and then Pistol Pete said that I couldn't get 3. I had to take it 3.5 at plus 133, so I got a nice number on it. I think the Blackhawks are going to score. Let me know what number you're getting. Rich Banks in the house. Nice to have you, Rich Banks. We love having you, pal. I'm just about done, but you will be right in time for the Gabe Morency Sports Raid. Tomore says, Jimmy, I think Stafford was hurt the last 2 games. It should be healthy now. He moves well when healthy. You know what? Fuck. God damn it, Tomore. That's a good point. He was clearly hurting, clearly laboring. I totally didn't take that into consideration. Fuck sucker. Good point. Ziggy Ball says, I would lay off the Steelers this week. Poking holes in my plan. Aspire Too Late says, no brainer under. My best bet and beat the bag. Yeah, 44.5 is a low score. Interesting, Aspire Too Late. Interesting. You're a good captain, man. I respect it. Rob says, can't wait to see Penn State versus Ohio State on Saturday. Should be a good game, no question. Delta 7575 says, Steelers are in great form now. Rich Banks says, what up, Jimmy? What up, Tomor? It's nice to have you, Rich Banks. Okay. Ben is throwing darts, says Delta 7575. Adam Lastman says, Lions need this one more than a man needs blood in the hospital. Nice analogy. Rich Banks says, dude, I didn't know the show was on. I would have come through earlier. Oh, it's all good, my man. But we love to have you, Rich. So it's every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. I think you're out west, aren't you, pal? Delta 7575 says, Lions defense is the key to this game. They suck. I agree. Adam Lastman thinks the Blackhawks are going to score 5. Fuck, I hope so. Tomore said, Stafford has a long injury history. Could still be hurt. I just think this is a tough game to bet. I think Pittsburgh could show up against them should show up against them on national TV. I agree. Regina Pruitt, I want the bag. Nice, man. You want cash? Let's talk cash, Regina. Tomore says, Rich, what do you want tonight? Tomore likes Boston and Portland. All right. Okay, well, we have one more game. We have the Monday Nighter, and you did poke holes in my Steelers plan, which is very irritating. Mikey says, what do you think about the Pels spoiling the Blazers try winning an NBA record 17 straight home openers? Pels money line is intriguing. It's not intriguing to me because I think the Blazers are a good basketball team, a really good basketball team. Rich Banks had -6 Boston and over 205 in Chicago, Cleveland. I posted on SBR Sportsbook Twitter. Rich Banks, beauty call, man. I know you're a hardwood guy, man. 2 great bets. Nice work. Perfect rotation. Hold in there, Brooklyn. Please let me know. Stars up 1-0. As we said. And Arizona is a surprising 5-2. I like Dallas. Tampa Bay over 2.5. Yeah, simple. But I guess I've got to rewatch the movie. I rewatched it to this morning's show. I hope I tailed that. Okay. Delta 7575 says I'd rather take Lillard for MVP. Yeah, but I've got the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo at +900. I only put $100 on it, but we're up 1 bag. Good perfect rotation. I want you to get that money, man. Get that cake. Oprah wants cheesecake. Perfect rotation. Well, up 6 technically. I get it. Up 1, but you got him +5. That's the biggest bet of the day. If anybody has a bigger bet than perfect rotation, it's $500 on the Nets +5. Great fucking bet. Respect. Tomar says, I love Greek Freak for MVP. Got it at +400. Wow, it's +225 now. Yeah, I got it at +900 before the season started. He will destroy the Eastern Conference. Yeah, Lillard is from. So, are you from? You must be from Oakland, right? Is Lillard from Oakland? Aspire to Elate says, Jimmy, by the half point off of the 3, then it makes sense. That's a really good call. That's a really good point. Scotty K says, Jimmy over 5.5 -105. Which game are you talking about, Scotty? Okay, we have one more game. The Monday Nighter, Broncos at Chiefs, -7.5. Chiefs are 7.5 point favorites, 43-point over/under. Salazar says, what do you think of the Blackhawks tonight? Salazar, we are all on the Blackhawks tonight. They got their 3rd stringer in goal. Maybe he's their 4th stringer. He last in the AHL last year for the Texas Stars. I believe he had like a 3.96 goals against average and .882 save percentage. I think he's going to get lit the fuck up. Okay, Rich Banks likes Denver. That's wild. Rob Amon likes the Chiefs. First off, Simeon looks very bad. He will have a tough time at Arrowhead. Demaryius Thomas is playing hurt. It was very difficult for Simeon to throw to anybody. He's playing with Demaryius Thomas is hurt. Emmanuel Sanders was not in the lineup. Hopefully he comes back. Broncos have 10 points in their last 2 games. And the Chiefs just lost a real tough one. Oh, no. Perfect rotation says I'm about to get hosed. Whoa, no. Tell us what's happening. Rob Arman says, I think Simeon gets benched for Osweiler. Rich Banks says, yes, Simeon is terrible. Tomore says, I bet Kansas City at 7. I really like Kansas City here. Andy Reid is best in the NFL with extra time to prepare, which he has here. I think Simeon is hurt and Sanders' injury is huge. Smith is good in division and at home. Those are great points. Chris Blanchard says, division game. A lot of points to lay, but Broncos look terrible. Tomar says, I think Osweiler gives Denver the best chance to win. Armin says, Chiefs. Scott K says, over 5.5 Chicago and Vegas. I think I would take it, yeah. I mean, you're going to have to hope for the Blackhawks to score a lot of goals because I'm not sure how many Vegas will score. Big E says, Tampa Bay 4-1. What a mistake I made not hammering that. Tomar says, Denver was horrible on the road last year and is again. Hi Ho Silver. Hi Ho Silver. Welcome to the chat, my man. He likes the Chiefs. Yeah. Nets down 4. Have the ball with 15 seconds left. Okay. Oh, we got the rebound. Come on, perfect rotation. Give us the good news. Covers. Attaboy, perfect rotation. Attaboy. $500 on our Brooklyn Nets. And I have the over 27.5. Love it. 1 point cover, baby. Great job. Respect. Deserve it. Delta 75 said the Chiefs will cover. The Chiefs just lost a real tough one. But has their defense been exposed? Marcus Peters is inconsistent. Now, he's got a huge shoes to fill with Eric Berry out of the lineup, but he's not looked as good as I expected him to look. Perfect. Thank you, perfect rotation, for luck on my bet. But fuck, who cares about my bet when you got $500 on the Nets +5 and it cashes? This is wonderful, man. It's nice to be around winners. Is it me or have we been doing well this month? Have we all been doing well this month? Making our fucking money, man. Delta 75 says the Chargers just crushed these scumbags. I hear you. Chiefs -7.5. I like it. I like it as well. I like it as well. I think it's a good spot, man. I think it's a good spot. Let's see. Tomor says, Jimmy, I think the Chiefs secondary has holes, but they also played Roethlisberger and Carr. Simeon blows, and they couldn't move the ball on a shitty Chargers defense. Now, I don't think it's that shitty, but I feel you. Rob says Simeon will be running for his life. Rich Banks says it's nice to be around positive attitudes, man. Nice to be around winners. And that's what we've been doing lately, and it feels great. But, Rich, I've been hearing around the way how good you are on the hardwood. So I'd like to just kind of keep an eye on what you're hammering. You know I have to get my action out early for betting with the bag, so I don't expect you to ever get as early as me, but I've heard a lot of very good things about your basketball action. So Delta 75 says Chargers D is the best in 4 years. You know, I like the Chargers D, but I understand. I like the Chargers D this year, though. I think Bosa's a fucking monster. Tomar says, I think 7.5 is tough. I bet it at 7. I think if you wait, you will see 7. Interesting. Aspire to a Late says recency bias with the Broncos. And there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Chris Blanchard needs the Sens now. Aren't they? What's the score in the Kings game? Kings Sens, aren't they playing? Tomar says, I think the Chargers D has played okay in spots, but they still have had the worst rush defense in the NFL for many weeks. Okay. Rob says Elway could get desperate enough to explore a trade for Garoppolo. I doubt it. Perfect rotation. Dude, positive attitude, positive outcome. No negative Nancy bullshit. Hey, man, it's just nice to be around winners. It's like being around hot women. It just makes you feel good. Rich Bank says, thanks, pal. I'm still in bed watching Low Shack in the Bag in the morning. Yeah. I feel you, man. Well, it's not even I don't mind the official picks. It's just that I need to get my action out. And when I quote what I'm doing in betting with the bag, which is a few hours later, I'm getting the numbers that I'm getting with my local. So it's tough to. Salazar says, history at Arrowhead with Denver. Denver is a tough win for the Chiefs. Yeah. Andy has lost the Arrowhead advantage since he's been at KC. Interesting. Andy has a better road record, and Arrowhead does rock. Yeah, don't you go to those games, Salazar? Dave Huang says KC all the way. Wow. Kim, my man Kim, with the positive information that's going to help my night fucking enormously. Islanders up 5-3. Puck line, baby. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. How much time's left? Fuck yeah, man. Let's stay hot. I want 5th straight day in the motherfucking black. That'd be 16 days in the black, only 7 days in the red this month. Shit. Thank you for the great information, Kim. You're the fucking man. Respect the messenger. Adam Lastman, 2-1. Sens just scored. Okay, cool. Tomor says, Ziggy, I think you made some good points, but Kansas City has lost 2 straight. They need this game. You know what? A lot of you guys I get to run with every week, but we've added Salazar and Ziggy Balls, which is great. You guys have been very fun to work with. 1:30 left in the third period. Fuck yes. Fuck yeah. God. Rob says maybe Denver trades for Cousins at the deadline if Washington falls out of the playoff race. That'd be nuts. Gigi says, made my night, and it's going to make mine too, baby. Dave Huang says, Islanders have a power play with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Feels really fucking good. You know why we started winning? Because we run with perfect rotation. He sets the tone of winning, and then we all start to win. Rich Banks is winning, and we all win together. God damn, it feels good. I'll try to DM some NBA stuff when I feel super confident, Jimmy. You know what? Rich Banks? How about I don't need you to tag my name. I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out how to. You don't need to worry. I don't want you. It's tough enough capping, and I know. Like I have people who ask me to DM my information, and it's so hard. The last thing I want you to do, Rich Banks, is worry about me. All I want you to do is get fucking cash, make cake, and then come down and visit me in Costa Rica. So don't worry about me. It's no thing. But I have heard round the way that you really know what you're doing. And Salazar says, I lived there my whole life. I just moved to Texas. Actually, in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Oh, Jesus. Salazar, I'm going to need to know more information about that. Ziggy Ball says, Denver needs it more. GG says, KC will win, especially at home. Tomor says, I think the biggest risk of betting KC is if Simeon sucks for another half, he's done, in my opinion, and they go to Osweiler. Scott K says, preach. Tomor said, they didn't sign Osweiler to be a backup. Elway always believed in him. Just 1 year ago, they offered him $18 million. Man, there's truth to that. Rob says, too bad Paxton Lynch didn't work out. He still may. Tomarino, or Mikey says, we signed him for $775,000. Yeah, no, we know that he's owed $18 million for it. It's just that Elway tried to sign him, right? And then he got signed, he got signed by way more, for way more. All right. Lou Chase is off to watch the World Series. Well, enjoy it. My man Dave Huang says, hey, Jimmy, I know you make a lot of parlays every day. Can you make a parlay of the day every day? I respect your picks. That's interesting. And I'll think about it. I just don't want to force it. Like there's these days like today when I put out $850 bets and I could have put out more, and I don't know. I'll really think about it, Dave. Dave, are you on Twitter? Because you can follow me and I'll follow you back. I'm at Jimmy the Bag, and we can connect with each other better that way. Tomor says I'm saying Elway offered. Yeah. Delta 75 is going to be nasty. Chiefs 31-13. Rich Bank says, nah, bro, you have understanding of how it all goes down. I'll reach out when I can. But yeah, that too, Costa Rica. I hope so, Rich Banks. I hope you guys, all you guys that have me, come down, man. Let's run. Aspire to Elite, take the Broncos. Because of the hook. Interesting. Sabres lead Red Wings 1-0. I hope it's... Oh, no. Red Wings going under again. Fuck. 2-0 Preds. There's some more fucking money. Betting the unders in NHL is such a sweat. Islanders game 5-3. Mark, you started with the good info, and you finish. You're a great guy. Dom G says, what up, Dom G? Thanks for coming, man. Were you still looking for sportsbook suggestions, Jimmy, or you found something that worked for you? No, I'm still looking because I'm waiting for the World Series to be over because I'll be able to put in a big amount of money. So go Blackhawks. Follow my man Rich Banks on Twitter. Follow him, man. Great basketball insight, great basketball handicapper. You will have more money in your pocket at the end of the year if you do that. Tomor says, I really think Osweiler at QB and center's back. Denver can be backed. Interesting. I don't think Osweiler is as bad as he looked last year. Can't back Simi on the road against a good defense. Wow. Wow. Ziggy Ball says, have a good night, guys, and Jimmy. Stars Avs tied 1-1. I think we'll be fine there. 2 or 3 parlays knockout would kill it. Mad respect for capping. Thanks so much, Gigi. Hey, you guys, I respect all your capping, and I thank you so much for being a part of this show. It means so much, and it's so enjoyable to run with you guys. Let's keep making money. Let's make money fucking together, man. Leche a los bookmakers, man. Fatter pockets, hotter sleuths. You know how we do. Please stick around in 15 minutes. Gabe Morency will be here, the most electric entertainer in the sports gambling industry. Stick around and fuck with him, man. He's absolutely incredible. And thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for sticking around with me, and please come back next week, man. And let's keep making bank, man. Let's make our lives better. Really have a profitable week, and I look forward to staying in touch with Capping you guys all week long. Okay, Dom G says he uses Bookmaker and Heritage Sport books. Okay, it'd be really good to me. Okay, you know I've heard good things about both of them, and my boy, oh my God, Salazar just sent me the Hall of Fame picture. Sweet, thank you. Wow. You know what, Dom G, Tomor just went in on Heritage, so I'll be talking to him as well. Dom G, if you don't follow me at Jimmy the Bag, please do on Twitter so we can contact each other easier. Armin, thanks so much. You're a great guy, man. Thank you for being a part of this. Oh, and Tomor says if you like betting NBA, check out Heritage. You know that means enough. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. Hey Salazar, thanks, pal, and I'll be staying in touch with you for sure. And have a wonderful, wonderful time at Del Mar next weekend. And Scotty's gonna ride with us on Portland. I love it. And Tomar says best run book I've ever seen by far. Wow. Okay. Well, that'll work for me. But much love, you guys. Armin says Leche a los Astros. That's a good one to land with. Leche a los Astros. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of this. Fatter pockets, hotter sleuths, man. Leche a los bookmakers.